Hey everyone, welcome to this video. So today I'm going to give some advice in this video that's going to give you a couple of simple steps that will help you achieve your goals from the very beginning. It's important that you have some type of structure because you need accountability. Otherwise, you'll just get distracted with things that go on in your life, and the next thing you know, 2 or 3 years will pass by and you're still in the same place and you haven't even got started with your business. So let's just go over some basic tips here that you can use to keep you on track to achieving your goals. So these are some basic things. There's nothing complicated here. Let's just look at the first one that I have written down. So this is my short list of easy steps to achieve success. So the first one is that you should write everything down on paper. Now, mind you, these are just my personal recommendations. I'm not saying that you need to do this. The only thing I can tell you is that if you're someone who's serious about making your goals come true, especially sooner than later, as soon as possible, these are really the most common sense type of things that most people don't realize or think about that really help you when you're in a transition period of going from working from someone else to working for yourself. So write everything down on paper. If you're going to start a business and you know what the first step is, write those things down on a piece of paper. This way, every day as you come to that list, you can use it as sort of a checklist and check things off one at a time of things that you know that you were supposed to do and that you got them done. It takes you one step closer to reaching the end goal. So write everything down on paper. The next thing you should do is list your reasons to stay motivated. Now, it's very easy to be motivated the very first day that you start your business or when you first find out information about a business opportunity. But in order to stay motivated, it really helps to have your motivation written down. This way you can keep things in perspective and remind yourself why you want to do this in the first place. Sometimes people get caught up with life. You have personal issues. You have issues at your job. You just lose motivation because you're tired and exhausted. So in order to really motivate yourself, you need to keep these things nearby so you know what the reason is why you need to work on your business every opportunity that you have. Okay. Also, most likely there's nobody else who's going to motivate you for you. You're going to have to do it yourself. Okay, so the next thing is list the steps that you need to take to get everything set up. So I've already provided a list of things that you need to do to get your business set up, such as creating a website address, figuring out what name you want to call your website, and getting your payment processor set up, getting a Gmail account, setting up a YouTube account, those sort of things. I have everything laid out already, what you need to do. So I've already put those things in video form, but if you're going to follow this advice and do the same thing, you need to put these steps down on a piece of paper. This way, once again, you can go through this as a form of a checklist and make sure you got everything done so that all these steps are completed. This is really simple, all you have to do. Okay, so the next thing I recommend doing is spending your free time studying your business model. So I don't know what business model you're going to end up choosing, but if you choose the business model that I'm recommending and you're interested in doing reviews and having reviews as a means of advertising and promoting products and services that you want to get paid to recommend to other people, start looking at other people who are doing reviews. Pick a couple of products that either you currently own or that you're in the market for, or things that you would like to buy later down the road. Look those things up on YouTube and just watch how people do reviews, and they give you certain information about products and they recommend them. Now remember, you don't have to make these videos. However, if you want someone to make a video like this for you to use to be able to sell something, you kind of want to get an idea of how easy it is and how frequent that you see this everywhere you look, right? Everything is always some sort of review. And realize that all you have to do is get yourself into the position where somebody actually clicks on a link to purchase something. That link is directed to a sales page that you're the person who's going to get paid when the person purchases that product. So just study it, look at it more and more and more, get used to it, and you'll become more familiar and more confident that this makes sense for you. So the next thing on the list here is to reduce the amount of distractions such as TV shows and social media. Now, a lot of people have many different social media accounts. Some people just have a few, and a lot of people spend a lot of time. I was just watching a video yesterday where the joke was that the guy was up at 4 o'clock in the morning eating cookies in bed watching TikTok because it's just one of those things that a lot of people do when they're addicted to social media. Now, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But in the event that you're someone who's about to start a business or start to make money online, those old habits that you maybe used to have can no longer be feasible at this time when these things are so important. If you want to spend your time on social media, what you should be doing is studying things that are about how to make money instead of studying things that are not going to help you make money. So definitely reduce the amount of distractions. Now, some distractions are unavoidable, and that's understandable. But when it comes to watching TV shows and that sort of thing, you have to definitely be willing to reduce the amount of these shows you watch. Unless it's time for you to have a reward, that's fine. Or if you spend time watching these shows with family, that's fine. But you got to figure out a way to replace some of your old habits with some new habits, which is focusing on your business. Let's go to the next. So the next thing that you need to do is realize that if you don't take action, years will end up passing by and you won't make any progress. So if you really want to get somewhere where you want to be financially, you have to focus on taking action steps every day or every week. And this is the only way you're going to make progress. If you don't take action before you know it, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years will pass by, and you'll look back asking yourself, seeing that you haven't made any progress because you stopped making the necessary steps to reach your goals. So just make sure you keep that in perspective. You must take consistent action as much as you possibly can. Let's go to the next step. So many people have a family or a very busy lifestyle, a very busy job. And if that's the case, it's not going to be easy to take action steps on a daily basis. And if that's you, fine, don't take action steps on a daily basis if you really can't do it. But you must take action steps at least on a weekly basis. So what that means is if you have your list of steps that you need to take action on, such as setting up your website, setting up your domain name, your website address, creating a YouTube account, those sort of things. If you can't get these steps knocked out on a daily basis, then make sure every week you have something done, whether it's your day off or a weekend or something like that. Just make sure every day that you go back to, every week that you go back looking at your list of things that you were supposed to do to get done, that you at least got one thing done per week. It's not really a lot of steps involved. So if you can at least do something every week, you should be less than a couple of months before you have all of these things set up. Now, on the other hand, there's people that have more time on their hands, and you can get a lot of these steps set up in a matter of days. The next thing I recommend you do is create a list of why you need more money. Now, this is really your why. If you have 2 kids, if you have 3 kids, or if you have more than that, or even if you don't have any kids, even if you have a family member like your parents or your grandparents or someone you're looking after, if you need money to help them because they're in a situation where they need financial help and nobody else can do it, maybe that's one of the things that you want to do. You want to be able to make your mother or father retire. You want to give them the ability to have a decent retirement. List every single reason possible that you can think of that you know is a reason why you need more money. These things are going to help you by keeping them into perspective and not forgetting the things that you actually want to achieve, remembering what your goals are and why they're important to you. Alright, so just an idea of a couple of things that can be reasons why you need to make money. I've come up with some here just to give you some ideas. The first one can be maybe you're living in a place that's too small and you need a bigger place to live. So maybe you have a small apartment and you'd like to get a bigger apartment, or maybe you want to buy a house. The next one is maybe you're living in a bad neighborhood where you really don't feel comfortable. Maybe you're raising kids in a neighborhood where you don't feel comfortable raising them and you want to move to a better neighborhood. Also, maybe you have a job that you really don't like. I've been there before. I've had jobs that have been decent, but I also had jobs where I had a lot of complaints of, and there was really nothing I can do as long as I was working there for that person. The next thing is maybe you have no savings, or maybe you have a small amount of savings, or maybe you're in debt and you want to fix those two situations. This is one real motivation. The other thing is maybe you have medical bills that you're responsible for that are so high that you don't see how you could ever pay these bills working on a regular job. And also maybe you're someone who doesn't have a decent retirement and you know that you need to retire at some point in time because you can't work forever. So maybe you want to set up a decent retirement plan so that when the time comes that you are ready to stop working, you've already planned way ahead on how you'll have enough money or a business that's going to allow you to not have to go back to work. And last but not least, what you should do is set a goal. In my recommendation, you should set a goal of either making $10,000 or $20,000. And this is a very achievable goal. As a matter of fact, if you want to make $100,000, you're not going to get to $100,000 until you reach $10,000 or $20,000 first. So regardless of what your overall goal is, even if it's to make $1 million, you should at least for now in the beginning, set a short-term goal of making either $10,000 or $20,000. When you do the math, it's really easy to make that happen, but this will give you something where once you reach these two goals, you know for a fact that at this point you've already experienced what it feels like to make $10,000 or make $20,000 on your own in your own business. And at that point, you'll know how to reinvest some of your money do it again, and basically just repeat this process over and over until you've reached a level where you have that much more leverage and experience making $50,000 or $100,000 from your online business. So that's pretty much it. These are my short recommendations, how to get things into perspective and how to keep a list of your goals and things to keep you motivated. The better that you can keep focus on these things, the faster you can get to where you want to be. All right, see you in the next video.